Merry Christmas! My name is Miss Kate and this is Miss Elise. We are so glad that all of you have joined us, from all of our toddler friends all the way up to our 5th graders. So I want to see who's here with us. So if you are 1 or 2 years old, I want you to waddle like a penguin. Can you do that? Awesome! All right, now if you're a pre-K kid, can you pose like a candy cane? Like this? You got it? Good. Okay, now how about all of my kinder and 1st graders? I want you guys to pose like a tree, like this. Oh, nice job. Now, how about my 2nd and 3rd graders? Can you guys pose like a snowflake? Nice. All right, finally, my 4th and 5th graders. Can you guys all act like you are one of the 3 wise men holding your gift out? Good. Great. Well, I think we're all here.
Now let's put those all together and add in a few more stretches. Let's all pose like a candy cane. How about a snowflake? Okay, one of the 3 wise men. Okay, let's pose again like a tree. And one more. How about we pretend to have a snowball fight? That was so much fun. Today, we are celebrating Jesus. Do any of you know what happened on the night that Jesus was born? There was an angel and a stable. Is that sounding familiar yet? Okay, it's time to get to the best part of Christmas. Jesus, yes, Jesus came to this earth as a baby, but he was not your average baby. Let's take a look at the story of Jesus.
Joy to the world. Since the very beginning, when people chose to turn from God, the world has been a dark place. Things fall apart, people face pain, brokenness, and difficult times. God knew how desperately all of mankind needed hope, rescue. He knew that the world needed a reason to choose joy. So, God planned an incredible gift. Now, you and I know that something like that can't be put inside a box, but maybe this will help us think about the story. I love to tell it again and again to every generation. He had whispered about it to prophets and poets over hundreds of years. But the very first person to discover that God's gift to the world was just about to be delivered was a girl named Mary. Mary was an ordinary teenager living in the ordinary town of Nazareth, in the middle of nowhere special. And yet, God chose her. He sent an angel with an incredible message. Mary, the Lord has blessed you in a special way. You will become pregnant and give birth to a son. You must call him Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High God.
I serve the Lord. May it happen to me just the way you said it would.
God's son, this ordinary girl would become the mom of God's son. Joy, fear, and confusion hit her all at once. But she knew this was a gift from God. But God had promised that his son, the rescuer, would be born in Bethlehem, not Nazareth. A short time before the baby was going to be born, Mary and the man she was engaged to marry, Joseph, took a road trip. By the time Mary and Joseph arrived in Bethlehem, the baby was ready to be born. But the town was full. Everyone else had come home to Bethlehem too. They probably checked with every one of Joseph's relatives, but no one had any room to spare. Every space was taken.
Hey, wait.
Except, it turned out there was a spot. The only available space in Bethlehem was a room share with the animals. The King of all kings would be born in a barn. Not what you're expecting, right? It's not what anyone was expecting. It was so much more.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
God had already made it clear that his gift was not just for one or two people, though. That night, he sent another message. There were shepherds in the fields outside of Bethlehem, watching their sheep all night. They were sleepy, maybe a little bored, when, you guessed it, an angel showed up. Don't be afraid. I have good news that will bring great joy to everybody. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born. He's the Messiah, the Lord. You will know I'm telling the truth, because you'll find the baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger. Those shepherds jumped right up and ran straight to Bethlehem to see God's gift. And they weren't the only ones. God sent the news of his gift far and wide. He posted a notice high up in the sky. A lot of people saw that shining new star. But one group of wise scholars knew that it meant something very special. Through study of prophecy, they knew the star told of a brand new king. These scholars lived far to the east, but they too set out on a long journey to Bethlehem, bringing gifts fit for a king. The gift that everyone was waiting for was delivered. God's gift to the world came in unexpected packaging. It came to an unexpected place. He brought together the most ragtag mix of people you could imagine. And over time, all of them stood in awe of God's amazing gift. Jesus, God's Son. Joy to the world!
Wow, what an amazing gift God gave to everyone by sending his son Jesus. Let's all get on our feet and sing and worship God for sending us his son.
Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature. Glory to the King, he is everything. Our hearts will Everybody, are you ready for the very best news in the world? Everybody, are you ready? It's a gift for every boy and girl. Yeah, everybody all around the world. We know God loved us so much, He sent us His Son. We're singing. Jesus is God's Son. Let's celebrate. Everybody come on, sing and shout it. Everybody tell the world about it. Jesus is God's Son. Yeah, He's so great. Everybody come on, sing and shout it. Everybody tell the world about it. Hands up in the air. Joy is everywhere. Joy is everywhere. And when you know it, you wanna show it and tell your friends about what God has done. It's amazing, so exciting. It's big enough for all who wanna come. Yeah, everybody join a happy song. Because God loved us so much, He sent us His Son. We're singing. Jesus is God's Son. Let's celebrate. Everybody come on, sing and shout it. Everybody tell the world about it. Jesus is God's Son. Yeah, He's so great. Everybody come on, sing and shout it. Everybody tell the world about it. Hands up in the air. Joy is everywhere. Joy is everywhere. Come on, get your hands up in the air. Joy is everywhere. Jesus is God's Son. Let's celebrate. Everybody come on, sing and shout it. Everybody tell the world about it. Jesus is God's Son. Yeah, He's so great. Everybody come on, sing and shout it. Everybody tell the world about it. Hands up in the air. Joy is everywhere. Joy is everywhere. Hands up in the air. Joy is everywhere. Joy is everywhere.
Oh my goodness, that was so much fun. I sure love our Christmas songs that we have been singing every Sunday this month. Now it's time for us to play a game with Dan. So grab some wrapping paper, maybe some green streamers, even toilet paper, and if you've got them, some leftover bows. We're gonna give you 1 minute to grab your things, and then Dan is gonna play a game with you guys. Okay, here we go.
Hey everyone, it's Dan and Hannah here. It's been a while since we've seen you. So today, instead of doing a worship warm-up and stretch, we're actually going to play a game where we're all going to make somebody in our family look like a Christmas tree by wrapping them the best we can. So look around the room, pick somebody out. Hopefully you have your supplies ready, and let's get wrapping. We're going to start right now. Right. Probably Hannah should be wrapping me because I'm really bad at this stuff. Perfect. Oh no! I ripped it. Nothing a little tape can't handle. I'm losing it.
I love my shirt, thank you.
You can also put a Christmas star or something on their head. Hannah's got a nice little bun here, so we might just use that.
You're gonna leave
I
my
guess
face out?
Do you want your face out?
Yes.
Oh no. You can do this.
I believe in you.
Oh man, this is not good. What is going on? Perfect. Hey, when you guys are finished, you should have someone take a picture and then have your parents upload it to our Facebook page so you can see how you all did.
Hopefully yours looks better than this one.
I don't have much time left.
You know how to do this?
They're gonna give you some earrings. Hopefully this doesn't hurt taking off. Perfect. Oh no!
Don't worry, I didn't need my hair anyway.
That looks good. Alright, awesome. Well, I hope you all have a great Christmas, and we will see you next time.
Merry Christmas. So, who'd you decide to wrap? Your mom or dad, or maybe even one of your siblings? I hope you guys had fun making your tree. Now we have a special story to share with you about 3 trees. Now some of you may recognize our special guest. It's Pastor Rowe. Let's all listen in.
Merry Christmas. This is Pastor Rowe saying high five. I'm going to be sharing a little story with you today. The tale of the 3 trees. And it goes like this. Once upon a mountaintop, 3 little trees stood and dreamed of what they wanted to become when they grew up. The first tree looked up at the stars twinkling like diamonds above him. I want to hold treasure, he said. I want to be covered with gold, filled with precious stones. I'll be the most beautiful treasure chest in the world. The second little tree looked out at the small stream trickling by on its way to the ocean. I want to be a strong sailing ship, he said. I want to travel mighty waters and carry powerful kings. I will be the strongest ship in the world. The third little tree looked down into the valley below, where busy men and busy women worked in busy town. I don't want to leave this mountain at all, he said. I want to grow so tall that when people look up at me, they will raise their eyes to heaven and think of God. I will be the tallest tree in the world. Years passed, the rains came, the sun shone, the little trees grew tall and strong. One day, 3 woodcutters climbed the mountain. The first woodcutter looked at the first tree and said, "This tree is beautiful. It's perfect for me." With a swoop of his shining axe, the first tree fell. Now, I shall be made into a beautiful chest, thought the first tree. I shall hold wonderful treasures. The second woodcutter looked at the second tree and said, "This tree is strong. It's perfect for me." With a swoop of his shiny axe, the second tree fell. Now, I shall sail mighty waters, thought the second tree. I shall be a strong ship fit for kings. The third tree felt her heart sink when the last woodcutter looked her way. She stood straight and tall and pointed bravely to heaven, but the woodcutter never looked up. "Any kind of tree will do for me," he muttered. With a swoop of his shiny axe, the third tree fell. The first tree rejoiced when the woodcutter brought him to a carpenter's shop. But the busy carpenter was not thinking about treasure chests. Instead, his work-worn hands fashioned the tree into a feed box for animals. The once beautiful tree was not covered with gold or filled with treasure. He was coated with sawdust and filled with hay for hungry farm animals. The second tree smiled when the woodcutter took him to the shipyard. But no mighty sailing ship were being made that day. Instead, the once strong tree was hammered and sawed into a simple fishing boat, too small and too weak to sail an ocean or even a river. He was taken to a little lake. Every day, he brought in loads of dead, smelly fish. The third tree was confused when the woodcutter cut her into strong beams and left her in the lumber yard. What happened? The once tall tree wondered. All I ever wanted to do was stay on a mountaintop and point to God. Many, many days and nights passed. The three trees nearly forgot their dreams. But one night, golden starlight poured over the first tree as the young woman placed her newborn baby in the feeding box. I wish I could make a cradle for him, her husband whispered. The mother squeezed his hand and smiled as the starlight shone on the smooth and sturdy wood. This manger is beautiful, she said. And suddenly, the first tree knew he was holding the greatest treasure in the world. One evening, a tired traveler and his friends crowded into an old fishing boat. The traveler fell asleep as the second tree quietly sailed out into the lake. Soon, a thundering and thrashing storm arose. The little tree shuddered. He knew he did not have the strength to carry so many passengers safely through the wind and the rain. The tired man awakened. He stood up, stretched out his hand and said, "Peace!" The storm stopped as quickly as it had begun. And suddenly the second tree knew he was carrying the King of heaven and earth. One Friday morning, the third tree was startled when her beams were yanked from the forgotten wood pile. She flinched as she was carried through an angry, jeering crowd. She shuddered when soldiers nailed a man's hand to her. She felt ugly and harsh and cruel. But on Sunday morning, when the sun rose and the earth trembled with joy beneath her, the third tree knew that God's love had changed everything. It had made the first tree beautiful. It had made the second tree strong. And every time people thought of the third tree, they would think of God. That was better than being the tallest tree in the world. And that's the story of the three trees. Merry Christmas to you, and to all a good night.
Thanks, Pastor Rowe. We have some fun coloring pages that go along with the story that we just read. So parents, in the chat, there will be a link for some activity pages for your kids to do. We hope you guys have a special time with your families this Christmas. Merry Christmas!